Now you may not know, but your Windows 10 PC already has a protection inbuilt for dealing with ransomware. Now ransomware attacks really suck because typically an unsuspecting user is going to receive a spam email or a dodgy attachment, and when they open it, they're sent off to a website or encouraged to open up an attachment, and the goal is to typically encrypt your files. Now, what that means in simple terms is that your important files are now locked and you simply don't have the key. So the attacker then demands payment to unlock your files. Now, sadly, this is really a common type of attack nowadays, and I personally know of 2 people that have been affected by ransomware, and both weren't particularly savvy users of technology. So think about your own situation. What have you got on your computer that would devastate you if you happen to lose it right now? And I mean, think about everything. Think about your photos, think about your passwords, your videos, your bank details, whatever it is that's important to you. If it's gone, or at least the threat of it being gone, might just make you want to pay up. So let's see in this video how we can use Windows 10 to protect ourselves from this happening. Now you still should have a backup of your computer as well. That way you can rebuild your PC, complete with all your files, and therefore you won't be forced into paying out any money in the form of a ransom. But backups aren't the focus of this video, and yes, you should back up your computer or at least your important files. So go ahead and take a look into that as well. But for the subject of ransomware, let's continue on. So here we are in Windows 10, and in Windows 10 we do have an inbuilt ransomware protection application, and it's not really well known, largely I think because it's quite difficult to find. So if you try and locate it using the traditional sort of methods by clicking on Start, and we'll go here to this little cog icon which expands and opens up Settings, then we'll choose Update and Security. Over on the left here, we are going to choose Windows Security. In the middle, we'll choose Virus and Threat Protection. And that opens up a new window. And down the bottom, you can see we've got this option here for ransomware protection. And down the bottom, this link to manage the ransomware protection. Now, that took a lot of clicks to get here. In fact, it took 6, and that's hardly surprising why so many people don't really know that this feature even exists. So to shorten that, let's just close all this. We'll click Start. We'll start typing in ransomware, and you can see that's going to find our ransomware protection application. So let's click that, and you can see that we're straight in. Now this feature doesn't come enabled, and I'm really not sure why it doesn't with a default installation of Windows 10. So you can see it's currently turned off. So to turn it on, we'll simply click this button. It's going to ask us, do we want to turn this on? Well, yes, we do. And now we're presented with 3 options. We can block history, we can look at our protected folders, and we can allow an app to access our folders. So let's skip the first one for the moment. And we're going to go straight to the second one, protected folders. And we'll click yes. And what we can see here is that this feature has now applied protections for our standard folders here. That's our documents folder, our pictures folder, our videos, our music, and our favorites. And it's done that both for my account and the public account. So you'd expect to see your own account listed here. So that's great if you do use these locations to store your files. But if you've got some valuable data stored in other places, not just these default locations, you can click up the top here to add your own. So we can simply find the folder and then add that in, or we could create a new folder from this window as well if you like. And by the way, if your data does reside on a different PC or a network share, you can of course enter in network shares and map drives as well. All right, so let's go and create a new folder to demonstrate this on my PC. I'll do it on my C drive. Now we can just click up here to create a new folder, and you can call this whatever you like. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to call mine protected folder, and we'll select that. Okay, and there's our folder, protected folder. So let's go and open up Windows Explorer, and we're going to navigate to our protected folder. And let's just right click in here and we're going to create a new text document. So this file should now be protected from unauthorized access by non-trusted applications. So to check that it is, let's first just open up the file using Notepad. That's an inbuilt Windows application, of course. If we open that up and we just type something in here and then we save it, it obviously works normally as you'd expect because Notepad is a trusted application. And pretty much anything that comes part of a standard build of Windows is already trusted. Now, if we try and open up this file using a third-party application, and I've just downloaded Notepad++, the portable edition from the internet, which hasn't been approved, obviously. So opening that up, let's go and open up our file. You can see we can browse the contents of the file just fine. So let's try to change this file and we'll click Save. And you can see down here, we get a pop-up message telling us that unauthorized changes were blocked. So if we go back to Windows Explorer and we open up the file, and this of course is opening up with the regular Windows version of Notepad, you can see the file actually remains unchanged. So this protection actively blocked us from using an unauthorized application to make changes to our files or our folders that live inside those protected locations. Now, this is great because if a rogue application attempts to encrypt your stuff, it's going to be stopped quick smart. You'll get a pop-up message like you just saw, letting you know all about it. So if we go back to our window here, click back, and now we look here at our block history, we should see an entry telling us which applications have tried to make changes in what locations. Now, for those of you that are interested, you also can see these messages in the Windows event log by clicking Start. You can just type in event and load the event viewer. And we'll expand applications and services logs. We'll expand in a second. Once that is finished, we'll expand Microsoft, we'll expand Windows, and then we'll choose the operational log. And what we should see if we just expand this is a warning message with the event ID of 1123, and that's going to give us the information that we want to see. So in here we can see that Notepad++, the portable edition, was blocked from modifying some of the objects in our protected folder. Now, if you do want to allow a specific application to be able to write to these protected folders, for example, you might have Photoshop, for argument's sake, and you want to be able to write to the Pictures folder. Or this Notepad application that I just used, you might want to be able to write to our new protected folder. So what we'll do is we'll just go back. We'll click here to allow an app through controlled folder access. We'll click Add an allowed app. And then we just need to either browse to the location where we have the application's executable file stored, or in the case of my Notepad application, we can select recently blocked apps. And if we do that, you can see there is our recent blocked attempt. So we just click the little plus icon here. And behind this window, you can now see that Notepad++ has been added. So we'll now be able to make changes to those files and folders using this application. Now, if you no longer want to grant this permission, we can simply select it and then choose Remove. Now, another thing I should quickly point out before we finish with this window is that right down the bottom here, we have this link to OneDrive. So if you're not already using Microsoft's OneDrive or a different third-party cloud storage solution, it's a pretty good idea to begin backing up your files online as well, just in case something ever slips through. That way, you're doubly protected. Now, this really has nothing to do with protecting your local folders, and presumably Microsoft have put it here because it's just a quick way to get to your OneDrive folders, or perhaps it's Microsoft's way of subtly reminding you to try out their OneDrive service. But by using OneDrive in combination with this ransomware feature, it's a pretty good solution for making sure that you're well protected just in case of a ransomware attack. Now, before we close out this video, I will mention you can, of course, control all the things we've just talked about from either this location for a single PC, and that works great, or by using other methods like Windows PowerShell or group policy. But since this video is aimed more at the home user, I haven't really gone down that path. So if enough people want to see how to do that, then leave a like and a comment, and we'll look at a more in-depth video for you guys. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Stay protected and have a great day.